Hello and welcome to a special edition of the show coming to you from India's capital, New Delhi. Today, the country's Foreign Minister, Pranab Mukherjee, gives Al Jazeera his very first interview to any international media since the deadly attacks on Mumbai last November. A tense standoff remains between two nuclear powers along one of the world's most volatile borders. There's been much focus on India and Pakistan since the Mumbai attacks. India says a Pakistan-based group is responsible and that Islamabad is being uncooperative and is in a state of denial in response to the killings. Pranab Mukherjee, India's Minister of External Affairs, has been one of the most outspoken voices demanding that Pakistan do more to pursue those behind the Mumbai attacks on 26/11. Besides his post as Minister of External Affairs, he's taken on the key responsibility of the Prime Minister of presiding over the cabinet, while the Premier, Manmohan Singh, recovers from heart surgery. As I spoke with him, I started by asking if India was changed forever in the aftermath of the Mumbai attacks, in the way 9/11 changed America.
It has rudely shocked the Indian people. The depth of outrage which the Indian people, political forces, intelligence, almost every walk of life, that is unparalleled. Mainly because of the audacity, ferocity, and also the duration of the terror attack. Therefore, of course, we are victims of some sort of terror attacks for quite some time. India is one of the worst victims of terrorism for almost 2 decades. But this attack, in many respects, was unprecedented.
Now, Mumbai especially is known to be able to bounce back, always, even after the troubles it's had in the past. In what way is it different this time?
So far the people's approach and their spirit of accepting the challenge is concerned, they immediately came back to normalcy. But the depth, I am repeating, the depth of sense of outrage is enormous this time, all over India, not merely in Mumbai, because maybe technological people watched it for almost 60 hours over the television screen all over the world. So that's why it had a very deep impact on the mind of the people.
Now, India claims that Pakistan is not doing enough to catch those who are responsible for the attacks. Is it that they are not doing enough or can't do enough? Because there's a difference, really.
Yes, one way you can make a differentiation whether they are not doing it deliberately or they are incapable of doing. But so far India is concerned, the net impact is the same. Whether somebody is capable or not capable, the impact is that the perpetrators of the terror attack, who are launching terror attacks from the territory of Pakistan, the infrastructural facilities available there used by them, committing crime in India, not necessarily in this case, but in large number of cases in past, going back to Pakistan and taking shelter there. These do not give us any comfort to make a fine distinction whether the state authorities there are doing it deliberately or they are incapable of taking any action. Impact is the same, result is the same.
So your statement that all options are open with Pakistan obviously has a lot of people speculating what India might do or what India might be willing to do in order to find some kind of reparation for what happened in Mumbai. As far as you see it, what is the limit of action that India is willing to take?
We expect Pakistan to act. Whatever is to be done from our side, we are doing so. We have started the investigation. The materials which we have collected as a process of investigation, we have given to Pakistan. Pakistan is to act because the handlers and the planners were from Pakistan. These persons came from Pakistan, and the evidences which we have given them are adequate to carry on the further investigations and taking action by the Pakistan authorities. Therefore, what we want, we are demanding from Pakistan only 3 things. I have identified it, there are many other aspects, but three major things: dismantle the infrastructural facilities, take strong action against the perpetrators of terror attack, hand over the fugitives of Indian law who have committed crime here and have taken shelter there.
Now, Pakistan, how do you respond when Pakistan says it itself is a victim of terrorism, it's a victim of attacks and extremists, and many accept that Pakistan itself is developing very large lawless areas which are out of control of the government? What's the option then?
No, but that does not mean that Pakistan authorities or Pakistan government will shirk their responsibilities.
Well, unfortunately, the media, of course, covering what's been going on, and as you say, it was an unusual situation, more than 60 hours of coverage on TV. People in India, across India got to see what was happening. How do you avoid a complete collapse in relations with your neighbor? Because people here might call for blood, because they see it with a very emotional view and don't try to be a little more pragmatic about the fact that not every Pakistani is responsible for what happened.
We have never said that. We are just limiting the actors of terror crimes perpetrated on India, perpetrators of the terror acts. We have never accused. We have stated elements emanating from Pakistan. We are not stating. We have excellent relations with people to people. Normal diplomatic relation is continuing.
Now, President Obama has said that he's going to focus on Afghanistan. That's a key area for him. And of course, India believes the focus should be more on Pakistan. Who has it right? Where do you think the real focus should be then? I mean, if Afghanistan and Pakistan are interlinked in some of the problems, he's looking at Afghanistan, you're looking at Pakistan.
Of course, the terror problems of Afghanistan and Pakistan are emanating mainly from the same areas, that is the border areas. Therefore, we ourselves have articulated that problem of Afghanistan to fight against terrorist forces cannot be delinked with the appropriate measures taken in Pakistan. And we also believe that involvement and full cooperation of Pakistan is necessary to resolve the problems of Afghanistan. Therefore, there is no dichotomy or contradiction between these two countries taken together.
Are you optimistic that things can improve with the political, or at least foreign policy agenda that the new president in the US has?
Let us hope so. There is no harm in hoping.
India lobbied very successfully for the new envoy to the region, Richard Holbrooke, to avoid really including Kashmir and India in his brief and focus more on Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, doesn't that limit what he can do? Doesn't that limit the kind of regional influence he can have to try to improve relations?
You know, so far India is concerned, India is interested in improving its relations with all its neighbors. We believe in the very basic fundamental truth that we can change our friends, but we cannot change our neighbors. Neighbors are going to stay where they are. And it is in our own interest, it is in the interest of the region that we create an atmosphere which will be tension-free with the neighbors. But at the same time, the neighbors are also to play its role. India is having excellent relationship with all other neighbors. We are having good relationship with Pakistan, except these terror attacks. And in the last 4 years, particularly the last 4 years I am mentioning, there have been substantial improvement. We are talking of trade, we are talking of economic cooperation. In fact, when the attack took place, Pakistan Foreign Minister was my guest. We are having discussions just a couple of hours before the attack began in hotels. Therefore, it is not that we have completely cut off our relations, there is no talk between two countries, but what we expect that the issue should be focused. Issue is not India-Pakistan relationship. Issue is not whether there will be any conflict between India and Pakistan. Issue is how to tackle problem of terrorism, how to tackle problem of terrorism emanating from Pakistan. The elements which are operating from Pakistan, how to eliminate those elements, these are the issues. Therefore, issues should be addressed properly and squarely.
Now, much of that issue that you're raising here has had its roots in the conflict that India has had with Pakistan over Kashmir. And President Obama has said that Kashmir is on his radar and that India, as a rising economic superpower, should live up to its status in that respect and do something. To what extent do you feel there is pressure for some kind of resolution when it comes to Kashmir?
First of all, we shall have to understand certain facts very clearly. Kashmir is an integral part of India, like any other provinces and state of India. If somebody believes that Kashmir is not a part of India, I am afraid no Indian is going to accept it. And if somebody try to resolve that issue, nobody is going to accept that. Keeping that in view, sometimes there may be problems between the states, there may be problem among the states on certain issues. Problems are to be resolved through dialogue, and exactly we are doing so. In respect of the Kashmir, not once, on several occasions, both Pakistan and India agreed that this will have to be resolved through bilateral dialogue. That's why we built up a mechanism which we call composite dialogue mechanism. And we were pursuing that. Talks have been suspended because there is a pause in the expanding of relationship, and it is quite obvious, unless these issues which we have raised and the perpetrators of the terror attacks are dealt with and brought to justice, situation cannot be as usual.
There's more with India's Minister of External Affairs as this special edition of the show, coming to you from New Delhi, continues after the break.